let's be honest on this one. The New York Rangers in 2014, I don't know how this roster gets there other than they came together at the right time. There was some timely scoring, and there was a goalie who bent and didn't break. In the first round, they beat the Flyers in 7. They win 4-1. They lose 4-2. They win 4-1. They lose 2-1. They win 4-2. They lose 5-2. They win 2-1. So they win every odd game, and that's enough for a win over the Flyers. And it's one of those things that you look at, and maybe if the series had gone maybe if this bounce goes this way or that way, but in the end, in Game 7, it's Alain Vigneault's team. Henrik Lundqvist is the goalie. Make everybody look pretty good. Round 2, they beat the Penguins in the Game 1, 3-2. Then they couldn't score for 2 games. They lost those 3-0 and 2-0. They lost Game 4, 4-2, so they're done. That's it. They're done. But they're not. This is why Lundqvist is kind of a legend in New York and around some parts of the league. He wins 5-1, 3-1, 2-1. So he allows 3 goals in the last 3 games of this series. And the Rangers move on, beating out the Penguins. Got to admit, as a guy who doesn't necessarily cheer for the Penguins, I thought that was a fun series. Although I didn't like the first 4 games, and I didn't like how it looked. But, in the end, the ending's what matters, right? And then in the next round, the Rangers made me happy again. And the thing to remember is I had a hate on for the Rangers for almost 20 years. I had let a lot of that go by this point in time. But seeing them against the Montreal Canadiens made me feel pretty good. They win 7-2 in Game 1. I remember that one pretty well. That was a good night. Then they won 3-1 in the next game. They lost 3-2 in overtime. They won 3-2. They lost 7-4, and then they win 1-0 in Game 6. So Lundqvist puts up his Game 7 performance in the Game 6 in this series, preventing the need for a Game 7. And if you want to look at where the reputation that Carey Price has for folding in the playoffs comes from, I really think it comes from here. Because when they really needed him to step it up, he was outdueled by Henrik Lundqvist. And I don't blame Carey Price. I don't look at Carey Price and say he's not good enough in the playoffs, but that 7-2 loss in Game 1 really sort of made things look kind of rough for Montreal, even though they'd made it to the conference finals. There wasn't really a good feeling coming out of that 6-game loss in that conference final. Then they play the LA Kings in the finals. And this is where they run into Jonathan Quick and the Kings. And when the Kings get on a run in the playoffs, as they proved in 2012 and 2014, good luck beating them. In overtime, they lose Game 1, 3-2. They lose Game 2 in double overtime, 5-4. They lose Game 3, 3-0. So the Kings are very good at shutting things down in the finals. The Rangers won 2-1 in Game 4, but they lost Game 5 in double overtime, 3-2. And it was a heartbreaker for Rangers fans, and I know that. And it's a heartbreaker for Henrik Lundqvist fans because this was seen as the best chance he had to win a Stanley Cup. And he may very well go throughout his career without a Stanley Cup. As much as Alain Vigneault takes a lot of flack from Canuck fans, for Rangers fans, for he doesn't play rookies, he has his favorites, and he plays them when he shouldn't. Tanner Glass in both cities. Aaron Rome in Vancouver you'd hear a lot about, and there are others with the Rangers too. The fact is, he does coach teams to finals. He does it once with each team. Wasn't able to do it in Montreal, but he didn't last very long as Montreal's coach either. So there is something to be said for Alain Vigneault's track record, and I'm kind of surprised that he doesn't have a job right now, but I think eventually he'll get back in. And looking at Henrik Lundqvist, wins they got when they had less shots for than against. So when they're outshot, wins they had. Round 1 they won twice. Round 2 they won 3 times. So when they beat Pittsburgh, that was Lundqvist physically pulling them. Round 3 they won once where they were outshot, and in the finals once. So that one game that they won here, Game 4, that's Henrik Lundqvist going, I'm not getting swept. So the Henrik Lundqvist legend is there for a reason, and it's legit, and I don't have a problem with it. Where do I put him in the all-time greatest goalies? That's where I usually have an argument with Rangers fans and some others. But this run, fantastic. His final numbers, 13-11 with a 2.14 goals against and a .927 save percentage. Cam Talbot, limited action. 1 loss, 2.59 goals against, and an .846 save percentage. Their leading scorer of those playoffs was Ryan McDonough with 4 goals and 13 assists, followed by Marty St. Louis, who really should have retired as a member of Tampa. The fact that he scored his 1,000th point in a New York Rangers jersey still seems weird to me. 8 goals and 7 assists for him. Derek Stepan, 5 goals, 10 assists. Chris Kreider, who is still really disliked by Montreal fans, 5 goals and 8 assists. Matt Zuccarello, 5 goals and 8 assists. Carl Hagelin, 7 goals, 5 assists. Derek Brassard, 6 goals, 6 assists. Brad Richards, 5 goals and 7 assists. Derek Pouliot, 5 goals, 5 assists. No, not Derek Pouliot. Don't do that, Shannon. Don't make that mistake. Get back. Previous season. Benoit Pouliot. See, while I'm looking at my Pouliot, not Derek Pouliot. No. He's with the Canucks, and he did not play a role in that Stanley Cup for them. He did not play a role. Yes, Benoit Pouliot. So, yeah, I can't make that mistake. Can't let that slide, can I? Rick Nash, 3 goals, 7 assists, and where Rick Nash's reputation wasn't helped in playoffs is this year. They really needed goals from him in the finals. They really didn't get them. Dominic Moore, 3 goals and 5 assists, tied with Brian Boyle there. Dan Girardi, a goal and 6 assists. Mark Stahl with a goal and 4 assists, and Anton Strawman with 5 assists. It was defense by committee, and there was pretty strong defense for the Rangers overall. But without Lundqvist, they don't go to the finals. I don't even know if they get out of the first round. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And hey, this is your 2014 finalists, the New York Rangers.